Right, so this is going to be my attempt to make a straightening jig, and I've got some off-cut MDF, it's nice and thick, and I've got some plywood from something, and the idea is to make a flat surface that I can put a plank on like so, and of course they're varying lengths, so, and then use the saw to come down this edge here and take off the rough bit. That'll leave me with a straight edge along here, but I need to make it so that this piece or this piece is able to be clamped by using some off-cut T-track from my bench build. Put that in there to hold the wood. Not explained very well, but carry on watching and it'll all become clear, I hope. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is I want to have a area along here that's just solid wood. So the first thing to do is to rip a piece off this bit of plywood, because the other thing is the thickness of the plywood is slightly higher than the T-track, which is absolutely perfect. Yeah, let's take a slice off this. Now, how much of a slice do I want? Well, I think about 50mm would be ideal, because if I have my thing there, that will give me what I need. Okay, I'll get ready to do that on the table saw. Right, so we've got our piece cut off. That's going to go along there. Need to secure that down, so I'll screw that down. Just want to make sure that it's just ever so slightly over the lip of the MDF when I do that. So yeah, next job, screw this thing down. Right, so I've got some screws that I can use up. So I'm just going to drill some pilot holes. Actually, I'm going to put that one in so that I've got a reference. Right, so first thing I need to do is find out where the middle is. It's always a good place to start. And this is 70 inches, so that is going to be 35, which is going to be here. So that is where we want the first track. And that will come down there. Just make sure that's square. what I normally do then is find the middle of that. So that's going to be, what's that? 890, so that is going to be 445. Which is going to be there. So that one will be there. Make sure that is which means the gap between them is 425 mil. So what I need to do now is I will cut this piece into 400 and whatever it was mil pieces, and then secure those down. So I'm going to get set up to do that. Right, I thought about it and I've come to the conclusion that I think the gap between these two is a bit on the big side. I'm going to cut them at 200 because that's a nice easy number to remember, and we will just make it work. Okay, so get my piece here. Crash bang. No, that's not very straight. So I'll tidy that up and then I'll do 200 and we will then put it in place. And the other thing I'll do is set up a stop block here so that I can make repeatable cuts. Right, so we have our pieces all cut. This is our first one, so if we just line that up, make sure that it is still square, and we can put our first piece in. And if we screw that down, that'll be our first piece in. We put our other piece in here. That looks pretty good. And then we keep going. So let's draw. Is all square to everything. Right. Butt that one up to there. some screws in there. So what I want to do now is make sure that these two pieces are exactly the same length, because what I want to do is have them so that I can move them, and the way to do that is to make sure they're in the exact same length, so that when I drill holes in here on the drill press, I can drill them, set the drill press up so that I can drill them to be in the exact same spot, which means when I move them I don't have to make new holes for the screws all the time. So that is flush at the bottom. So feed that through. Hold those tight in the vise and then just file them down by hand. Right, so I've set up a jig so that when I drill a hole here, I can turn it around and then drill a hole in the same place, every time, so it's repeatable. So let's see if it works. So that is hole one. So there we go, they should be in the same place, which looks like they are. Make sure that is down as far as it's going to go. Drill a hole, drill into there. Now, with a bit of luck, I haven't screwed it to the bench. Lucky day today. And with a bit more luck, we'll be able to slide our things in, our clamps in through here. Right, so here we go. Let's see if this fits. Oh, it doesn't. So that means I need to countersink the holes so that the screw heads go in a bit more. Right, so to countersink this, I need to use an 8mm drill bit, which I will do. The 8mm just fits in there, and try not to drill straight through, so just short little bursts. And then you end up with a wee countersink like that, maybe a bit more. Right, let's try that. See if that's enough. Beautiful. So hopefully now you can see how this is going to work. Just mop it up with this. So if you have this just over the edge a bit, with this, clamp it down, then when you run this through the table saw, it will create a straight edge. Anyway, that's the theory. Right, so the next thing to do, I found this piece of wood. It's almost the right size to fit in the slot on the table saw, so it fits down here, and it's quite tight fit there, but in the middle it isn't. So just with a bit of sandpaper, I'm just going to hand sand that until it is a snug fit, and then we'll chop it to thickness. Right, so I have finally got this thing to fit, and it is very snug, which is exactly what we want. So what I need to do now is work out how, yeah, so what I'm going to do is cut that piece off, which it's going to be straight down the middle, which is great because I need 2 lengths, and we sanded that so this side should need 2, which it does. So yeah, I'm going to get set up with the fence on the saw, and we'll cut that in half. Right, so we've chopped those in half, and that is pretty much level. Even better, slightly below level with the table, which is perfect. What about this one? This one's got a rounded edge on it. That's not going to worry us. That one just needs a bit of a sand on the cut edge, and that'll be pretty much perfect too. So I'll get on and do that. The next thing to do is to work out where we want this to be in relation to the blade. So I want the blade to just take off maybe the width of the blade when we run this thing through. So I'm just going to use the fence to push the board over the blade like that. Then I'll lock the fence down, and I can use that as my straight edge to locate these pieces in the right place to sit on the bottom. So I'm going to put some super glue on here, and yeah, we'll start by sticking the first one down. Okay, so I've got my super glue here. fold that down while the super glue does its thing. That way we've got that exactly where it needs to be. Now I just need to do the same for the next piece. So this piece is slightly below the surface of the table saw. So in order to raise it up, I'm just going to put these metal washers in here, and that will raise the wood up just enough to be just above the surface of the table. That one's well and truly secure. So now we'll just do the same trick again, just a couple of blobs of super glue, and we'll try and line it up with this one. So bring that down there, turn that over, and I'm going to try and get this piece into the groove so we get it all lined up. Here we go again. So I want to get this piece to line up in there. Which it should do. Just need to wait for that super glue to go off. I didn't want to use accelerator because I wanted to be able to move it if I needed to. Well, once this goes off, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute, and then we'll flip it over, we'll apply some more glue to it, and then we'll screw it on as well. Right, let's have a look. Let's flip it over, see if it stays on. Which it does. Cool, right, let's go with that. So, going to drill this hole. And you want them to be just below the surface of the wood without cracking it. All going well, and you may have to sand the side of it down because the wood would push out ever so slightly when you put the screws in. But once you've sorted all that out, you're ready to put the edge on it, and that's pretty easy to do. All we're going to do is take it over to the side, let that run in the groove, and put the saw blade down. Right, so how does this thing work? Well, we've got our zero clearance edge here that we've just made, and this is our next piece of wood to be trimmed. So if we slide it down, we can put that so that it is just over that edge. Then we can clamp it down. end. Probably can't see what I'm doing, but never mind. And that won't move. Nope. Then we can use it to run that piece through, and that should give us a nice straight edge. And there's the result. That is a nice clean, pretty clean, straight edge. So what you then do is, to do the other side, you use the fence on the table saw, referencing this cut edge here, because that's now your straight edge, and then you just riff it through the table saw, and that'll give you two straight edges, which will should make the glue up to make panels a lot easier, a lot quicker. So that's how we do that. Okay, so that's it. That's our nice straight edge cut. That was the whole purpose of building that straight edge jig. So we're going to leave it there. So thanks for watching this far. I do hope that you will like and subscribe, and follow me on building the underbench cabinet. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next Workbench Apprentice video.